Hey there, welcome to another Planner Perfect podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Penton, and I am so glad that you're here with me today. We are going to be talking about something that I think is just crucial for women, especially moms with busy lives. This is about four options to give you back your power. This is a really great tool that I use that I came up with because just having 8 kids and, just having a large family and life and building a business and such, when life comes at you and there's things that others want you to do, life presents things to you as options to do, it just becomes overwhelming. And I think a lot of times we accept and take on a majority of it and then just take it on, put it in our task manager and just lead frazzled lives. So part of what I teach women is how to write a better story. And this is something I know you're going to enjoy and be able to glean from and adopt because it has worked for me for years and years and years, and I know it'll help you too. The idea is that you're not going to want to, bite off more than you can chew, okay? But a lot of times, and I know I've done this myself several times, is that I just seem to accept more than what I think I can handle. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I can totally do that. And then I'll, hate people, but I'm the one who said I do it. But then when push comes to shove and it's time to actually do it or host the party or do this certain thing for them that I said I was going to do, I'm quietly hating their guts. And I remember one example of this is when I was hosting, the annual Christmas dinner. And I tell you what, I'm the one who has the largest family. Okay. My sister has 2 kids. My mom, I only have 2 siblings and my brother has a couple. And so I have 8. But I was always the one to be like, yeah, let me hold the party. I always had the house to house it. I had majority, so it just made sense, for everyone. And I love to host. So my heart was in the right place when I would take it on. But when it came to actually getting ready for the party and hosting the celebration or the holiday, kids were throwing tantrums and I had my hands in bread dough and the seething and the hating of everyone around me began. Okay. But I was the one who excitedly took this on. My husband didn't even agree to it, yet, I hated him for just existing. I was like, who do you think you are even walking into this room? Are you going to handle these kids? Do I have to do it all? It was just one of those things where it always ended up in just chaos and everyone was to blame except for me. And so I know this is going to help you. One instance, okay, let me get to this funny story where my sister called and this was even before she had kids and she just had her husband and she's like, hey, what do you want me to bring? And I'm like, listen, and this is well before the holiday. I'm like, listen, I got this covered. Just bring yourself and your laughter, just bring you. I got this handled. I just want you to have a good time. I love you. She's like, okay, great. I'm like, okay, let's do this. So here comes Christmas and it's in the morning. I was up early, kids, I had very little sleep that night. Little ones keep me up, whatever. I'm like, okay, it's Christmas morning. Of course I'm planned. Okay. But I wasn't planning for anything to go not according to plan. Okay. So I had planned for that. I planned for everything to come to pass, and which has its rewards, let me tell you, because I always plan as though it's all going to come to pass. I was detailed. It was all great. But you've got to be able to be at a point where you understand what you should take on, and especially when it comes on to, And that takes really good planning when it comes to other people. So when you're planning your life and what you're going to do, that's critical, okay? Planner critical. Plan yourself. But when it comes to planning other people, you got to be smart about it, okay? You can't just think you can do it all when it comes to everyone else. So that's where the planning, these different, options that you have come into play. But so when it came to that, I was so mad at my sister that she wasn't bringing anything. I was like, I cannot believe it. Okay, the whole thought process was coming into play where I was like, I just can't believe this. I literally cannot believe she's not bringing a thing. This is my inner dialogue. She's going to bring her lazy butt self to this celebration of Jesus our Lord, and she's not even bringing rolls. What is she doing right now? Watching the parades? Okay, I've got an apron on. My hair's in a messy bun. No makeup on. Kids running amok all over the place. And the Christmas spirit had completely left my body. Okay? I don't even think it entered because I had so much to do that day. Then I started to rag on my mom with my inner dialogue. She didn't bring enough. She's not going to be planning on bringing enough because I told her just to bring coffee, I think. And then I had, and then there was my husband coming down with the Christmas spirit and his holiday jammies. And I'm like, I can't even believe I'm looking at you. Are you going to take care of these kids or are you just going to be fa-la-la-la-la-la-ling? Okay. I just remember that year was the pivotal point for me when I knew I needed to make some different choices for myself and give myself some options. So, let's dive into those 4 options. Get your pens licked, okay? Because these are some good pointers, okay? I've learned some things. And if you're one to take off and bite off more than you can chew, then shoot, you're going to love this. Okay, here are the 4 different options. Then we're going to break them down. Accept, reject, delegate, and postpone. Okay? These are good ones. Honestly, they're genius. I use these all of the time whenever I need to. They need to be in your tool belt of your planning your life tool belt. Okay, that you can just pull out and you can say, okay, I got 4 options here. I got 4 options. Where does this fall under? Okay, so when you're writing out, let's just use the holiday, for example, and how you could use all 4. Then we'll break them down. It's a holidays coming because we're right on the heels of the holidays anyways. Okay, so here we've got holidays. Let's say Thanksgiving. Okay, so Thanksgiving, let's say you're hosting. And you're writing, and so you're hosting, so you are the one who's obviously, maybe you're going to be the one to set the tone for what the menu is going to be, and then, you make the calls for what people can bring. So, number 1, you want to know that you want to have a really good time, okay? That's first. Then you want to know what should you bring and what can you bring, and then you definitely want to make sure that you are really thinking this through on what others can bring, okay? I mean, really. Don't let them off the hook, okay? Do not let them off the hook. Sometimes I just wanted it to be something. Now, in certain circumstances, you can host some girlfriends, okay? And you can do it all and have them enjoy their day. As long as you know that you've got children, that maybe your husband will have the kids, or make sure you're setting yourself up for success. Okay? We don't want to set us up for failure. So, write down your menu and then accept the different things that you know that you're going to do. Now, let's say that your sister says, well, I can't do this or I can't do that. You can have the option to accept or reject that. Okay? You have to be able to say, this is what I'm able to do. And then you go ahead and you delegate, okay, certain things out to other people, which they're going to be able to do for you. Everyone wants to bring something and be a part, And so make sure they do. And even having them bring it like not even fully cooked. Part of the joy of cooking during the holidays and stuff is having them we're all cooking together anyways. So make sure you give them something to do. People love to help anyway, and give them some jobs to do. It'll be really fun. Even down to your kids. Have them have some things that they're going to be doing as well. Delegate, 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 delegate. That was one thing that I just was so used to doing. And it was just something that it was a habit. I just took on everything and then hated people later. Okay, don't do what I do. Don't do what I do. It's not cool. It's not fair. It's not right. And it causes a lot of problems. So delegate, girls, delegate. Okay, so that is an example of how you could delegate out the holidays, okay? And if you're already good at that, sweet. Then you're already a step ahead. But, however, what about all those everyday things, okay? What if you got holidays in the bag? But what about every single day? What about every single day? A lot of times we take on more than we can chew, period. And then we're just running around with our heads cut off thinking that that's how life is. It doesn't have to be. You can really lead a very calm, peaceful, wonderful life in control. Believe it or not, you are in control of how your life is and what your reality is. And the more you understand that, then the better off you'll be. So let's start at the top with accept. Now, in any time, I mean, because I could be mapped, goals written, my day planned, my week planned, and children especially, they'll come up, or could be different family or someone from church, doesn't matter, anyone, anywhere, could be saying, hey, listen, can you do this for me? Can I do this? Can I play this sport? Can I do this here? Can I do that there? Well, this is when a lot of times I think we're just like, okay, well, let me see what I can do and get you in. And this is where you're all task managery. That's why I'm always trying to coach women into not being as much of a task manager as more of a, life planner. You're writing your own story. You're mapping out a life that you love instead of trying to just corral and be a task manager. You're going to create a life that you love. So you have the opportunity here to take that and say, well, I can either accept that now, that flows well and fine with my plans. I think I can make that work. Take a moment to decide. Or you can completely flat out reject it. Say, I'm going to have to say no to this one. Thank you for asking, Or when it comes to your child, if they're asking to be put into something or whatever, does it fit within the flow? Can you do it without stressing the rest of the family out? If you can't, then maybe this goes under a postpone, So with the number one, with accept, only accept something that flows and goes with you and your family's goals. So if you're a planner perfect girl already, then you know how important it is to be able to set goals every single month, to be able to know what your month look as an overview, and then your day-to-day mapping. So you've kind of got that hyper focus on your month. You know what's going on. So you know what you can readily take on that month. You should. And if you don't, then by listening to this podcast, being with me on YouTube and my Facebook community, you'll get it, and you'll get it real fast, and you'll be up to speed. So only accept something that you know you can take on and do it well. Because everything that you do, you want to be able to do it well, or you just don't do it at all. Okay? So if you're going to be doing it, complaining under your breath, don't even do it. Don't take it on. I mean, you want everything that we do should be done with 100%. 100%. So that is a rule of thumb to go by. If you can't do it at 100%, don't do it. So that leads us to our next one, reject. Don't feel bad to reject someone in something that they're asking you to do. I think a lot of times I was such a people pleaser. I know for a fact I was. In my early 20s and bled into my 30s, I was a huge people pleaser. I wanted to make other people happy. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I was miserable. miserable. Mainly I was trying to please my parents. If I could have easily have said no, and everyone would have been better off from it and for it. Believe me. So don't feel bad to say no. Say, you know what, I really can't do this at this time. And you can say no, like I'll never do it. Or again, you can put it over in the postpone or delegate it out or whatever. You have 4 awesome options. You're always in control. So take your power back. So don't feel bad to reject it. Look over your month of goals. Look over what you want to accomplish. So if I'm busy trying to revise a book this month, and I know that this is the month I'm doing it, then saying yes to the fact that I'm going to take on some big, agenda for someone else that they need me for is probably going to be a big solid no. Okay, so it's just one of those things that you have to be able to look at what's going on and decide to either accept it or reject it. Only accept it if it's 100% you can do it with just beautiful, with all of you, or reject it. Okay, now here comes the next one, delegate. I love delegation. I love it. And I don't mean just delegate chores to your children and make them do things and all of that. And I mean, that's cool and it has its place. But what I've come to do in the beginning, I used to do, now when it comes to children, okay, and delegating, let's just use them for an example. I used to have big chore charts and everyone hated everything and everyone didn't like it. And I thought that was a real motherly thing to do. And everyone should have things to do and people do them. But go at things in a way that inspires rather than cracking a whip. I've always found with 8 kids that if I act like we're all in this kind of together and we're living together and this makes things run more smoothly if you do this and I do this and like I'm in it with them versus drinking a cup of coffee and saying you do this, you do this, you do this, or here's the consequences. That has never flown for me very well. It's always been more problematic, more problems. I have to be on them. It's draining. They hate me. The whole thing has always never worked. So halfway through 8 kids, I was like, you know what? I'm flipping this around. And it was just more of a, hey, we're going to go do this today. How do you feel about help me do this? And then I'll do this. And I used their strengths, actually. It's like, I know that this kid over here is really good at watching a younger one. I know this girl over here is really good at doing this, doing a laundry reload. I know this kid over here is really good at this. Put them at what their strengths are. Make this thing happen. And it doesn't have to be like on a chore chart where they have to do it every day. Do it by a day-by-day scenario. That's always really worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you instead of always trying to be on top of a list and getting a star. I mean, how about use it just in real life time? This is real life. You don't always get a star for doing it, but shoot, we got out the door without a hit, without a glitch. And everyone wants to go to the movies. So, hey, take this out. That way we don't come back to a real messy house and then we can make that great dinner when we get back. Just one of those things like, hey, we're in this together. Let's do this. Or I really can't get out the door. So I'm going to need some help, some collaborative help. Let's do this. So my kids, honestly, we do really well this way. We always have. I have kids who just even love keeping the rooms clean. It's like because they don't have to, they do it. It's just really interesting. And then even some who don't, I don't care, they don't care, then eventually they do care and then it gets cleaned. I mean, it's their space. It's one of those things. I don't want to get long into this topic. It's a completely different topic with kids and chores, but you get the idea. Delegate some things out. It really, really works. What I do is I have a 15-year-old who wants money and I want some help because I've got and it comes to like for my business, I've got to do some things. So I like to pay a certain boy to watch my 5-year-old and play with him, like legit play, not just like, hey, if I didn't pay him, there'd probably be a lot of, half stuff going on where, he's not really, his whole heart's not in it. And then it really wouldn't work. But when I pay him and say, hey, you can get a new skin for Minecraft if you kind of watch him for a couple hours while mom does this podcast or something like that. Okay. So it works for me. He's happy. I'm happy. We're kind of collabing. I'm delegating. It's worth every cent because they're playing Legos and laughing, and it's just awesome. Then I've got another daughter, my 15-year-old daughter, who I pay to take some dishes out every single night and do a laundry thing. It works. It just works. And she's happy. I'm happy. My house is picked up on the daily. It's incredible. Then you can also get to the point where you can even hire someone to come in and clean for you. Think of things like that you can, within budget, be able to work out and do it. If you can do it, do it. I do it twice a month for all my deep cleaning, and it is more than a game changer. It's a life changer. Okay. I'm like a new woman. I don't have to, it's just something in this stage of the game for me that is important, and I want to put my money there, and I do, and it's life changing. I can't even say it enough. I can't say it enough. I tried stopping a cleaning lady and doing it myself, and I was drowning. I was absolutely drowning. So I put more money toward it, and that's where I want to put my money, and I do. So keep all of those kind of options in mind to make your life freer and easier and better. So think of those fun, different things. You've got options, girl. You've got options. Postpone. Let's move right along over to postpone. Postponing is awesome. Awesome. You're not really saying no, but you're saying maybe later. And I do that to my kids quite a bit. If it doesn't fit in right now, I put them just in I have a really great 12-month planner that we offer over at designsbyplannerperfect.com. It's really kind of great. It's really awesome, actually, for forward planning. So we sell monthly planners that fit in the traveler's notebook. And if anything goes outside your set of 3 months there that you're looking at, you got this 12-month planner that you keep in your traveler's notebook too, that you can just go over and say, hey, let's start soccer here in this month. How about? Because then you're envisioning for your life. You're looking forward. You're saying, hey, I know this could fit here. Let's put you here. This will be awesome. Or hey, let's look at this for you in this month. Let's look at you here for here. Or I can do this for you in this month if you want. I can do this for you here. I can paint this for you over there. I can help take care of this for you over here. That's how postponing works. And instead of just, sometimes you don't have to reject something altogether. You can just postpone it. And that works out really, really well. Let's say you want to start a task even for yourself. Okay, let's talk about let's for a moment talk about it's not about just what other people want from you. What about what you want from you? You have options. These 4 things also apply to what you want from you. So, you can accept certain things that come to you. You can, that are your ideas or things that you want to accomplish. And then sometimes you can just reject it altogether. Say, you know what? I think that doesn't serve me anymore. I'm going to go ahead and reject it. You can delegate stuff that you do. That actually the cleaning falls into that category. And so delegate to make your life easier. You have options. Give your kids some things, trade out things, get them ice cream, do something, work together on it, and delegate some stuff out and make your life really easy. It's really, really wonderful. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to be able to delegate things out and work with just your own family unit. And then to even just be able to hire it out completely is even greater. And then postponing the, certain things that you wanted to begin, postpone them into certain months. That's what's really great about being a visionary, once again, is that you're just putting different, according to what the month is for you, on and what fits. I wanted to start knitting. I just got this bug of I have to knit. I have to learn. And I plunked it in October. I'm going to do it. Now, I could postpone it to November if I wanted. I could postpone it to December, or maybe the ease of January feels better to start. But right now I put it in October, but look at the options you have. Don't reject it altogether. Put it over that way you brain dump it out of your head and you don't forget. I love it. You can put it in your 12-month, and then when you're over there looking at all your goals, you can say, oh yeah. I postponed that chunky knitting session for myself over in January, and things start to slow down after the holidays. Totally doing it now. It's just one of those things. Just dream and write it down and make it happen. That's all. And You've got a place for your planners for all of this with my system. And you have a place of these 4 different options that you have in your tool belt to keep you from overwhelmed, to keep you organized, to keep you sane, to keep helping you from becoming bitter. Okay? Like me, listen, you don't want to be Jenny in the early days. You don't want to be me, the girl who cooked the holiday dinner and hated people. You don't want to be me. Don't be me. So pull these out, girls. Accept, reject, delegate, or postpone. These 4 different options will make your life so much easier. They're game changing. That's it for now. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Be sure to check me out over on my other socials, YouTube, where I'm going to be uploading quite a few videos throughout the week for planning your life and mapping out a life that you love, as well as my Facebook community over on Planner Perfect, where there's just a great community of women where we're like-minded in the method and the system of really planning out a life that we love and putting our tasks in their place and understanding that we are more than our tasks, and we are more than the roles that we play, understanding who we are. Which leads me to my other social platform, which I think you will just love, and I encourage you to join, is Project Me over on Facebook, where we plan, journal, and create. We journal starting today. So excited. We're going to be journaling together, which if you have not begun the art of journaling, it's such a wonderful outlet for creativity, for gratitude, and just love. So be sure to join me over there starting today, as well as over in Project Me, I offer courses for spiritual awakening. And right now we're in my She Believes She Could course, which has 4 workbooks that I offer with video. So be sure to join us over there and check those out over at Designs by Planner Perfect. I also have a Be Free course, which is also available as well. So be sure to check that out. That's all I have for you, girls. Thanks for joining me today, and until next time.